Let's go back now to our main story. And the official proclamation of Charles as king took place not just in London today, but also in Ottawa in Canada, where he replaces the Queen as head of state. Queen Elizabeth made no fewer than 22 state visits there during her reign, more than to any other country. Our chief international correspondent Lyse Doucet reports now on how her fellow Canadians are remembering the Queen.
Bearskin hats and a bugle. This morning in Ottawa, a solemn ceremony to confirm a king.
His Royal Highness Prince Charles Philip Arthur George is now, by the death of our late sovereign, Charles III.
A new head of state. Canada, one of 14 Commonwealth countries, former colonies, which still keep the crown. Queen Elizabeth II was at its helm for nearly half of its history.
We thought she'd always be here. Yeah. And we'll miss her humor, we'll miss her brains.
She's had a calming effect on so many people over tough times, tumultuous times.
Thank you again for your welcome. It is very good to be home.
For 7 decades, she drew the crowds here. Old and new generations gathering to greet her, displaying affection for her and for what she loved. From corgi fan clubs in the capital, Ottawa, to fast horses at the Calgary Stampede in the West, Prince Philip enjoying himself too, always at her side, embracing Canadian culture, including its national sport.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. She's really touched the spirit of what being a Canadian is all about.
But often, the Queen was on thin ice.
Seldom before, if ever, has Her Majesty been so heavily guarded as on this drive to the Parliament buildings.
Sometimes the people who showed up came to protest. This was the scene in the mainly French-speaking province of Quebec in 1964, when separatist sentiment was at its highest, anger over English domination. The Queen knew it, never showed it, steering a middle course.
Ottawa is a small capital.
From her very first visit as Queen in 1957, she always spoke both of Canada's official languages.
Veuillez vous seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Better than even some of Canada's politicians. Another difficult legacy of a darker imperial past.
The Indians were so delighted to meet the Great White Queen.
For Canada's Indigenous community, the monarchy also symbolizes dispossession, discrimination, horrific abuses Canada's leaders are still confronting. This morning's ceremony to welcome the King sends another signal. The monarch's representative, Governor-General Mary Simon, is the first Indigenous person to hold this role. Other change could be coming. The monarchy is changing, so too is Canada. The Queen was able to move with the times, to remain relevant. Now more and more Canadians are saying the monarchy no longer matters. But this is a country where the Constitution is hard to change. So for now, it's a country with a king. Lyse Doucet, BBC News, Ottawa.